What's up, everybody? This is Kiernan Reese, otherwise known as the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and I'm back playing more of Half-Life 2. It took me longer to come out with this episode than I intended because I actually had an issue with my Xbox that wound up with me having to restart it and reboot it and lose a lot of progress and all kinds of shitty things, and then, unfortunately, I wound up losing some progress, and then I had to basically just say, fuck it, and jump ahead to the next chapter, because I was at the start of chapter 13, and I wanted to keep my items, but it was either replay all of chapter 10, all of chapter 11, and most of chapter 12, or just skip to 13 and just deal with the default stuff they give me. So I decided to do that anyway. So you may notice an inconsistency with how many items I have if you're paying attention. But I just did not want to have to replay a huge chunk of the game over again. Especially because it's a part of the game I'm not really fucking super stoked for. Other than that stuff right here that you just saw, there's like no way to tell the difference between what I had. Because I literally began at the very start of this chapter and then I was able to resume at the very start of this chapter. So you technically didn't miss anything. I just decided, fuck it. I've already been very vocal talking about how I don't think that the last couple chapters of Half-Life 2 are as good as the rest of the game. There's a noticeable dip in quality. It's like, you have chapter, all the way up until chapter 9 is fucking great. And then chapter 9A, they split into two parts. I don't know why they did it. It's the only chapter they did it to. They just made it chapter 10. That's how I consider it. There's like a dip in quality. It feels like they didn't get the chance to do the final polish. So chapter 10, chapter 11, chapter 12, and chapter 13 are kind of But then the last chapter redeems it. It's just, it feels like the idea is great. It's not like it's bad. It's still good. It's just not as good as the rest of the game. It's like the idea is there. There's still good parts. But it feels like chapters 1 through 9 are perfection. And then chapter 10, 11, 12, and 13 are just okay. And that kind of sucks. Thankfully, like I said, they're still good. It's not like they're bad. And thankfully, the last chapter, the very last chapter, makes a noticeable uptick in quality. So it does end on a high note. It just has a wobbly thing in like its third act. And also, I will say this, one thing I love about Half-Life 2 is the episodes. People like to shit on episode 1 for some reason. I don't, and I'll get into that more when I'm playing episode 1. But episode 1 is all of it set in City 17, the same place the last act of this is. So you might think, well, oh no, the last act of this game's kind of, So episode 1, no, episode 1 is a return to quality. In fact, episode 1 is, in many ways, above the quality of the base game. You can really tell they were able to take what they learned from the base game and refine it and make it awesome. And many people call episode 1 the weakest link out of all of them. I disagree. I think episode 1 is fucking awesome. I think part of it was due to the fact that it's short. It is really short. Shit, here we go. Episode 1 is short. It's only about 2 hours, but they sold it for a quarter the price. So it makes sense. Because that's about a quarter the length of the game. Yeah. And, episode 1 was really meant to be the start of a new trilogy. And it's way better if you play episode 1 and 2 and consider them one game. If you just played episode 1, which is how it was originally released, I can understand. It's like, well, I got all excited for 2 hours. But if you treat it as you should, which is the opening to episode 2, like the intro to the story, and the episode 2 is the bulk of the story, it's fine. Because episode 1 and episode 2 together are pretty much Half-Life 3. Even Gabe Newell said so. And even said we should have called it that because that's what it is. So, if you play it back-to-back with episode 2, it's fucking great. Yep. Gotta get in this pod and lose all my weapons. Thankfully, however, they actually give you something awesome to make up for taking away your weapons from you, which you'll see. Oh, did I? How did I? Oh shit. Okay. I guess I should have turned that off. Hold on a second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. I guess I should have turned off the button, or I don't know. Maybe I should have taken out the port door. I don't know. I mean, I played Half-Life 2 a lot. I just forgot. I think you was watching. I really appreciate you. I totally forgot what to do in certain parts of the game. Because I played the shit out of Half-Life 2, but it's been a while since I played Half-Life 2. I like how the Citadel is like this, just like very barometric thing for the whole series. Like your progression in Half-Life 2 is tied to the Citadel. You start outside the Citadel, and you see the Citadel at various points in the game, and then you see it getting closer and closer, and then finally at the end of the game you're in the Citadel. And then in Episode 1, you see the Citadel ruined, and it's like a sign of, oh, look what we did, we destroyed it. And even in Episode 2, you can look in the distance and the start and shouldn't see it. So it's like, oh, now I'm really far away from it because you went to a new area. I love it when games do that and they create like a sense of world building and shit off of that. Off of this world. That's the stuff I really like. A sense of place. Like I said, chapter 10, chapter 11, chapter 12, and then chapter 13, and 14 are pretty good. Even if this elevator ride is a little bit fucking long in the tooth for me. This is cool as shit when you're first playing the game, because it's like you look into the Citadel. But when you replay the game, it just starts to drag. You should always go through the whole game, but honestly, when I went through this game, like when I used to replay it a lot, because I used to replay this game a lot, I would start at chapter 3, because chapter 1 and 2 are like story, they're pretty much just cutscenes, and then I would go to chapter 9. That's the sweet spot of Half-Life 2, if you ask me, chapter 3 to 9, because you have Root Canal, which is, you know, the first real chapter is shooting and killing. You have chapter 4, which is Water Hazard and the Water Blood. I love that chapter. You have chapter 5, Black Mesa. The story doesn't good. You have chapter 6, which is Ravenholm, which obviously Ravenholm kicks ass. Chapter 7, which is my favorite chapter, Highway 17, bar, and going around the countryside. And you have chapter 8, which is also great with the sand traps. And this is the start of Grimland's good. You're going along over the beach. Get over the beach. Fucking run through your pitch black tunnel. And then you're navigating the prison. But chapter 9A, or just 10, I call it, because it doesn't make sense to split it up. And I think that was due to oversight by the developers. Just has wave after wave of fucking turrets. It's not fun. It's confusing. And it's... how do I put it? It's...
security alert.
Kind of
Unregistered weapons detected.
just way drawn out and padded, and then from there, they have the levels in the city, but those are way too hard and just filled with scenarios that aren't a lot of fun. There's good moments, like in the subway tunnel and stuff, and then they try to have these mechanics where you have like a large group of followers following you, and that's cool, you know, to show, oh look, he's a leader during the city. But the AI is not as good as it could be, which to be fair, this is 2004, this is when AI was in its infancy. But then you have these large groups of people, but you're in these tight, narrow corridors, so you're frequently getting stuck by these fucking people. And then they take all your shit.
Warning. Counter-resonance singularity device detected. Quantification field failed.
Dude, the enhanced gravity gun is so awesome.
Illegal counter-resonance singularity device detected. Deploy. Diagnose. Dissect.
So, this is Dr. Freeman. At last. I wish I could say this was a pleasant surprise, but it's neither a surprise nor, as you will surely agree, very pleasant. Well, I am nothing if not pragmatic.
See, this is where the game picks up. Because you're finally in the Citadel, which is really cool. You're not dealing with the fucking AI. And the gravity gun comes to the point where you just fuck everything up.
Well, Dr. Freeman, under other circumstances, I like to think we might have been able to work together in an atmosphere of mutual trust and respect. Certainly, judging from your brief tenure at Black Mesa while I was its administrator, you showed every promise of becoming a valuable and productive contributor to the scientific process. And yet, I'm not sure what spurred you to it. But there is really no place in this enterprise for a rogue physicist.
Pretty awesome. And it's just so nice to turn the table on the Combine and just fuck up their entire day. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna take a drink. My monster. After looking in it, just make sure no bugs got in. I'm paranoid about shit like that. Okay, and then smelling it. See, I'm fucking worried about this stuff.
Your mentors are partly to blame, of course. My disappointment in Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my sorrow over your unfortunate choice of career path. In a way, I suppose you could not have done otherwise. Who knows what seeds of iconoclasm they planted when you were young and gullible, but while they certainly share a great part of the responsibility for the recent troubles, it is you alone who have chosen to act with such willful disregard for humanity's future.
And after seeing him in radio things, man, it's so cool to see him in person directly talking to Freeman, and seeing him get more and more afraid. Like, you can genuinely see him getting more and more afraid as time goes on. Oh shit. Because he's like, she's one man. He's just a person. How can you not stop him? And he's like, stop him. Well, I'm in the most highly guarded place in all the land. There's no way I'm fixing it. And as he gets closer and closer, he's like, oh shit, he's coming. And after hitting such a drunk asshole, and being so calm the whole game, it's really cool getting angry. Like, you see his veneer start to slip. I really like Green as an antagonist. He genuinely thinks what he's doing is right. He manages to no chance of survival. And that the only way is to collaborate. And I like that, because he's not a fucking mustache twirler. Oh, I wanted to save the alien. Honestly thought that what he was doing was right. And he has a good point. Like, this is an advanced alien society that has conquered dozens of worlds. In his mind, it's like they've already succeeded in destroying dozens of worlds. What the fuck makes us different? So he's like, we're gonna survive. We have to work and show us we're fucking awesome. So it's like he has a good point, and then his composedness, his scientific mind, the fact that he honestly thinks about what he's doing means that he's not just like a stereotypical fucking villain. And I actually really like that shit. I mean, it's always good to have a bad guy that you love to hate. Hold on 1 second. Well, it's okay sometimes to have a mustache twirler. I'm not gonna say it's not. Sometimes it's just fun to have a mustache twirling villain. You don't need or you don't need a complicated motive. But generally speaking, I prefer. Even Dr. Mossman, she genuinely thought the only way to save Eli's life was to betray him. That only by working with you could she save him. He only did what she did because she loved him. He even says to be judgment. On top of that, they reveal Dr. Green reveals that they could have captured Eli any time in the last couple of years. Wow. They revealed they could have captured Dr. Breen any time in the last couple of years. Really? Wow, I gotta do that whole fucking elevator ride again? Man, that blows. Anyway, they reveal they could have taken him at any time in the last couple of years. It was only Mossman talking to them that prevented that. She was like, no, don't take it, we can work on this together. She actually kept him safe. And that's why, like, later on in the series, in the scene, even though Mossman technically, quote-unquote, betrayed them, they forgive her. She really did love him. And was willing to die for him. And it's the shades of Grey that are fucking delicious. And see, that's why I can't get behind people saying Half-Life 1 is better than Half-Life 2. And I'm like, what shit is this? Because, honestly, I can't agree. Half-Life 1 is amazing. There's no doubt about it. And for a 1998 game, there's no game like it, and it set the standard for modern shooters like stories. It had a story-rich experience in the way that no other game did. But Half-Life 2 is just so much better in like every fucking way. For one, the setting of Half-Life is mostly generic. It's just a lab. Awesome place. It's nothing groundbreaking. And nowadays it seems like fucking FPS game 101. The world of Half-Life 2 is one of a kind. And it's been almost 20 years later. Yeah, it's been 18 years since Half-Life 2. 18 years. There's not been a setting like this. So that right there makes me like it way more. The setting is so much more memorable. But there's so much more to it. The cast of characters is so much better. Half-Life 1 had good voice acting for the time, but it had almost no memorable characters. They're just generic scientists, generic doctors.
Tell me, Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
Like, it's simple. There was a disaster. Fix the disaster, and then you talk to the army, and you talk to the scientists, that's it. And the scientists are generic and have no personality. All the scientists look the same. There's a black scientist, there's a white scientist, there's a security guard, that's it. And that, I mean, they literally don't have fucking names in the first game, so I'm not trying to be racial like that. But that's their characteristic. And they took those characters and they made them name characters. All the black scientists became Eli, Vance. All of the white scientists became Dr. Kleiner. All of the security guards became Dr. Barney Calhoun. So they took generic characters from the first game that had likable voice acting but no role and made them distinct characters. Then there's Alex. Then there's fucking the resistant characters. Even side characters in this game, like the Colonel of the Army, Odessa Cubbage. Fucking awesome. And I'm gonna save. I don't wanna lose progress again. That was not fun. So there's so many fucking awesome in the universe. The Combine. Fucking the Vortigots turning good. They were just enslaved. The 7-hour war. There's so much great lore in the background of this game. The suppression field, it's wonderful. And what set Half-Life 1 apart was it was story-driven. It had a rich universe. So Half-Life 2 does that, but so much better. And Half-Life 1 suffered from a lack of writing its locations. Most of its locations look the same. Half-Life 2, it's like every chapter is a different thing. It's fucking awesome. It seems so different. It feels so different. I love it. You know? I love Half-Life 2, and it's like, oh no, Half-Life 1 is cooler. I strongly disagree. I think Half-Life 1 took everything that Half-Life...
laid the foundation for humanity.
I think Half-Life 2 took everything that Half-Life 1 did and expanded upon it in every conceivable fucking way. And then added physics and more variety and a unique world. Like, the areas of Half-Life 1 are well designed, but aesthetically speaking, it's just fucking labs. It's the only interesting part is Zen, which was fucked up. Everybody hated Zen in the original game. Black Mesa fixed it, but in the original game, Zen sucked dick. And widely considered to be shitty. Most people just stop playing when they get to Zen. Oh, I beat the game. And then the parts of the game are outside in surface tension, and the new Sorry about that. My batteries died mid-sentence. I have a recharging deck. I had to swap them out. But anyway, what I was saying is, so the vast majority of Half-Life is just labs, which I just find kind of boring. It's one of my problems with like Doom 3. I thought all that game looked the fucking same. Or Fear. Fear is great shooting. Fear is amazing. But Fear, all of it is just boring fucking office rooms that look the same. I've played Fear. I've extensively played Fear. I've beaten it. And I remember playing through it. But if you were to show me the game, hey, what chapter am I in? I could not tell you because one part of that game looks like the other. They had one tiny-ass tile set of office spaces and just repasted that with a different layout. And honestly, for me, that's a cardinal sin. Now, Fear is still great because the story is great and because the shooting is fucking amazing. But Fear is also very much a horror game. And atmosphere and sense of place are vital to a horror game. And Fear falls flat on its fucking face with the horror shit. When you think of Resident Evil 1, you think of the Spencer Mansion. When you think of Resident Evil 2, you think of the police department. 3, you think of Raccoon City. 4, you think of the village, the castle. The areas all have a sense of atmosphere, distinct place, because that is a huge part of horror, is atmosphere and location. There's a reason why Dracula's in a spooky fucking castle. Or Wolfenstein is, out in the woods at night in the dark. Because the location matters. But Fear is just, a boring office complex. Another boring office complex. Another office complex that looks like the one I just went through 15 minutes ago. And because the areas look so similar, I found myself constantly getting lost. Everyone wants to shit on Fear 2, right? But Fear 2 had environmental variety. You went to a park, a ruined city block, a hospital, a fucking underground sewers, a lab, and each one looked different. I can tell you, hey, this is this part of Fear 2. And so, like I said, 90% of Half-Life is in labs that don't really do it for me aesthetically. Then the other part is in the fucking, Zen, which looks unique but is shit. So the only part of the game that really stands out to me environmentally wise is you're in Utah. And you're in the mesas of Utah. In the desert, and it's a unique place with the army and the pine, the cactus. That's cool. And that's why that's what the surface tension, where you go out on the surface and you're in the desert, is most people's favorite chapter of Half-Life. And I agree, and I'm glad they made it a lot bigger and more expansive in the remake. But that's what I'm saying. But so much of Half-Life doesn't have a sense of place. But this game has so many varied environments. You have the city, 17, which has different districts. You have the waterways and the aqueducts. You have Black Mesa East. You have Ravenholm. You have the fucking highway and the beach. You have the prison. You have the Citadel. The forest outside in episode 2. The world is so much more varied.
Survival. And not as we have narrowly defined ourselves, but as something greater than we could ever imagine. Something we can now only begin to glimpse.
Oh, I'm hopping. Damn it. Die, you piece of shit. Ah! I love how you can grab its leg and chuck it. That's so cool.
Look, Gordon. Look at what you are throwing away. Is it worth it?
Another reason why Dr. Breen did what he did is because the Combine are essentially immortal. They live forever. And they told him that if he helped humanity, they would make all of humanity immortal. So he's like, man, we could be immortal. And that's true. They are immortal. They never plan on making humanity immortal, though, to my knowledge. And if they did make us immortal, it would be by warping us into alien monstrosities. Who the fuck wants that? But what you can see from his perspective, it's like, man, we have the potential to be immortal. Who wouldn't want that? But it's like one of those, well, at what cost, bro? Hey, what cost, bruh? Really, dude? What the fuck? Like, what's the toll? Forever young, I want to be forever. You really want to live forever, forever, never, forever young. I want to be forever young. Let us stay young and let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sand pit, life is a short trip. Music's for the sad man. To be forever young. Do you really want to live forever and never? Sorry, something stuck in my head. It is kind of crazy to see if I set it up and see all this shit. Look at that view. That is honestly a really amazing view. Yep, and this last chapter. And really more of a heavy story chapter. And they take your gravity gun. Fuckers. Shoot it.
I'll take him from here. Don't struggle. It's no use. Until you're where
The facial
he wants
animations
you, there's
really hold
nothing
up.
you can do. I'm sorry, Gordon.
Like, they made a point about this was some of the most realistic facial animations in the world at the time. And, like, they have 40 different muscles in their face. And honestly, it was fucking state-of-the-art revolutionary facial animation for the time. Think about 2004, think about PS2, and think of the animations for this. And honestly, for a game that's 18 years old, it has really held up.
Intelligences, worlds stretched thin across the membranes where the dimensions intersect. Impossible to describe with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil. Good God.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at last. What's this? I'll put it over there. You have my gratitude, Doctor. First, you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend, and then you deliver yourself? If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered
They really do are
hunting you in the
expressive.
first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with the Combine.
Dr. Breen.
Huh.
Wallace.
Yes, Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I can do is convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save them? For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, Maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Alex, honey,
Dad. Gordon?
God damn you, Breen, you let her go.
That's all up to you, my old friend. Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species, or will you give your child the chance her mother never had?
How dare you even mention her?
Alex, my dear, you have your mother's eyes, but your
I actually want to take a picture of that. Turn off the closed captions.
father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a combine portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that hard to believe once you get there.
It isn't necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept a new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine pawn for those who control him.
No!
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
How about it, Dr. Freeman? Did you realize your contract was open to the highest bidder?
Gordon would never make any kind of deal with you.
I understand if you don't wish to discuss this in front of your friends. I'll send them on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Don't struggle, honey.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Alex, sweetheart.
Judith, what do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Yes.
Guards, get in here! They know you betrayed them. They'll turn on you. Judith, Dr. Mossman, please!
I'm sorry, Wallace. You're all out of time. Don't.
Hurry! Dad, hang on.
You fool!
Watch out, he's gonna...
No!
Oh, no. Don't worry about me, honey.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the portal. You'll need this.
Dr. Mossman, Judith, look after my father.
Don't you worry.
Dad, I'm not saying goodbye.
Once more, another great moment.
Never.
Come on, Gordon. Let's go.
My girl.
This chapter is very limited story-wise.
Gordon, we haven't known each other very long, but I know you didn't have to do this. I had to rescue my father, but you... Well, thanks for coming after me.
It's me you should be concerned.
Hey, listen.
I can still deliver.
That's him.
Not without your help. The portal destination is untenable. Surely you can set the relay elsewhere. There's no way I can survive in that environment. A host body must be joking. I can't.
There he is.
Oh, all right. Damn it, if that's what it takes. Just hurry. It's right behind me. Oh, shit.
Damn it, not again! The gravity gun. He doesn't have a clue, does he? I wonder where he's going. Oh my god. This is the Citadel's dark fusion reactor. It powers their tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance like this again. We've got to stop Dr. Breen. I can't shut it down. Looks like he's turned over control to the other side. You'll have to go into the core and do what you can. Get in the elevator and I'll let you know. Don't forget to charge your PC. Do your worst, Gordon. But be careful.
1 second. One second, sorry. Oh, I got a kink in my neck. I'm trying to fill in this can. I'm about halfway through the monster. I try not to drink them too fast, otherwise it made me jittery. If I drink them just slowly, then I get a buzz without, getting uppity. I used to know a guy who chugged monsters. I'm like, dude, that's so bad for you. Yeah, no, I'd say about 70%, not even half. Okay. I think Half-Life Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is even better.
It's Dr. Freeman. There he is.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten.
Yeah, keep going. Piece of shit.
I don't know what you can possibly hope to achieve
What the
apart
fuck?
from your own annihilation.
I have no idea what just happened there.
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
I have no idea what happened there. I just died for no fucking reason.
It's Dr. Freeman.
That was
There
so
he
weird.
is.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten. I don't know what you can possibly hope to achieve apart from your own annihilation.
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
I warned you this was futile.
He's bluffing, Gordon. Don't listen to him. Great. Oh no, Breen started his ascent. Hurry, Gordon, before he escapes.
Well, I can only go as fast as this thing lets me, quite literally, so...
Keep going.
Shit, I missed the elevator.
I could have told you that was pointless, Dr. Freeman.
Go, Gordon.
I almost kind of wish they hadn't killed Dr. Brain. He dies at the end of this, and he's not in the rest of the parts, and that kind of sucks because it means there's like no real villain.
Are you still with us, Dr. Freeman?
Episode
Not
1 and
for
Episode
much
2 were
longer,
fucking
I
amazing
think.
and have a lot of great story developments, but
If only
Dr.
you had
Brain isn't
harnessed
in it,
your
so for
boundless
both of us, it's not a real
energy
villain.
for a useful purpose.
I mean, it kind of gets one later, but it's not the same.
Oh my god. The portal is opening.
I hope you said your farewells. Go back, Freeman. I have no idea what you're doing.
bring down this whole Citadel. Think, man. Think of the people below.
You sure fucking. And I'm pretty sure he just died.
Yeah! You did it!
And this is where we get to the intense part.
Come on, Gordon. We've got to get out of here.
Maybe we still have time, Mr. Freeman?
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span. You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you, if and when your time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem to you an arbitrary imposition, Dr. Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
Honestly, this ending dropped my jaw to the fucking floor. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And episode 1 kind of almost does like a redo of this. Kind of weird. But thank you. That was the last part of Half-Life 2. I will be starting up Half-Life 2 episode 1 almost immediately. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.